Hello and welcome to the Medin family. My name is Sean Medin, and I know you guys are probably thinking, why is he introducing himself again? It's because it's only the second episode. I come from a large family, as you can see.
And you kind of look like PJ.
And I look like PJ. And for those listening, today is our second ever Welcome to the Medins podcast episode with both video and audio options for hanging out with us. For a long time, people have been wanting to learn more about our family, to kind of find a way to get involved as well as to keep up, because I guess we're pretty entertaining to other individuals outside of our family, which is pretty cool.
It's kind of like going to the zoo.
Yes, it is kind of like going to the zoo. Actually, a pretty good comparison.
That'd be a fun podcast. Is which section of the zoo?
Yeah.
Why don't we do this at
Who
the
are
zoo?
we in the zoo? So today, we're actually going to be talking about something that's a really big part of all of our lives, and I believe has been a huge part of tying us to be as close-knit as we all are today, and that is our band, Breakthrough. All of us, in one way, shape, or another, are a part of this band, whether it be some of us go out and we go play, like, I don't know, hard rock shows, or more people kind of join in for the worship side. But we're all musically inclined, and no doubt a lot of you guys kind of already know that. Some of you may not, but you might not know a whole lot about us right off the bat. So what is Breakthrough? Who are we? And has it been like, and this is to all of you guys, all the band members, what has it been like being a part of this band for, is it 18 years? 18 years now, I think, ish?
I usually tell things by how old Daniel is.
Peach,
21.
how many years has it been?
My math is not
You're
so
on your
good.
third renewal.
I think we started in 2003, so I think it's...
Our dad's a lawyer. That's how he thinks. But what'd you say, Peach?
It's been like 18, 19 years.
About 19 years.
18 and a half.
That's.
In the middle.
I'd like to, from the top down, oldest to youngest. PJ, what are your thoughts on being a part of Breakthrough over the last 19 years?
I think it's been a really great way to keep our family so tight-knit over the years, especially considering all the different things, like all the different seasons of growth that we've gone through, the different challenges that we've faced along the way. I think without the band, things could have gone very differently. But because we were so close-knit, we were able to pull in together when the fights came and fight back to back and protect the family. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the way I think about it.
Okay.
Another thing I think is worth note about it is it's our generation's iteration of the ministry or the call to ministry that God gave our family like 4 generations back. And so it's been really cool to kind of live as one out of many generations who have had a ministry or a call to ministry, and to fulfill that and see the way that God works through generations. In fact, as I've been reading through the Old Testament and going over like the genealogies, and there's so many genealogies, you eventually get to a point where you're just like asking God, what's with all the focus on the genealogies? And I felt like God was saying it's because I put an emphasis on the ministry I give to generations, and it's important for those generations to understand that calling that I've given them. Everything all right there, Sean?
Yeah, I was holding up the headphones since we don't have headphones for everyone yet, asking if they could hear you through the headphones.
I have to like really concentrate. I can't think about anything else if I'm trying to hear him.
Oh, okay. Drew.
Yeah, I think what PJ said was right. Like, I think things would have been a lot different if it wasn't for the band. I'd probably be in finance, actually making a decent living. Instead, I got sucked into the world of guitars and gear and practicing, and spent all of my time doing that stuff instead of the smart guy things. So here we are. But yeah, it's fun. I liked it. It's definitely been interesting seeing how it's changed my perspective on relationships with other people, knowing like a lot of like people in other bands and the bands that I've liked and stuff, and those bands break up because of differences between the members, and I go, I didn't think that was allowed. I thought you get grounded if you break up with your band. I thought that was the whole thing. Apparently not. But too late now. So here we are.
Catherine, what do you think about having been in the band for 19 years?
You're gonna have to tell me if this is even in the same vein as what other people are saying, but I feel like being in the band is what informed like our entire personalities beyond just what we were born as. Like for instance, I am pretty introverted, but I can speak from stage well, and so that has gotten me the jobs that I've had. It's been my ability to communicate, and if I didn't have the band, I wouldn't have grown like that. And also, I think all of us are extremely adaptable. Like when we moved to another country, that we were all just able to quick to Switzerland. That we all just kind of were able to pack up and go. Is what it felt like. We were able to just pack up and go, and pretty much every subsequent move and decision about what kind of job that we're gonna take, or even like the spouse that we have, has all been hinged
just on
on.
a whim.
Yeah, yeah. Has been hinged on our ability to just adapt easily to rough situations and just like, well, whatever. So that's not much of the music side. I know we've all become very musically talented as well. Have good skill sets there, but I feel like it formed a lot of the just characteristics of our personalities that make us able to communicate well and welcome people in and like approach people who don't look approachable.
That is along the same lines, especially as what PJ was saying. Sarah.
I agree with Catherine that it is the band that kind of has built who we are as people, and the spouses. Like I know my husband came from singing on a worship team and then getting to marry this. So I like this. I'm thankful for the band for this. But it's also built our muscles quite a bit too. Like I never thought I would be able to carry as much as I can, but all those days of carrying those amps, and I had the biggest instrument, have definitely helped with my muscles.
I don't think you had the biggest instrument, Sarah.
I haven't rolled my ankle since the last show, which is kind of weird how that's worked out, but whatever. But yeah, it's definitely kept us close too. We had to learn how to be able to deal with our differences, I guess, when we were touring and we were really close and stuck with each other in a truck for 2 weeks, and made it so that we really had to learn how to like each other in the good times and like each other when we didn't necessarily want to be stuck in the truck with each other. And I think that was a good skill to be able to learn just in general, because you meet people all the time that you have just different personalities, and you just learn how to deal with them really well. And I attribute that a lot to pregnancy brain. Okay. It just went somewhere else. I'm thankful for the band. That's what I meant to say.
That is a good answer, Sarah. Daniel, you're the kind of, well, okay. I am sorry.
Daniel can answer.
Okay.
I was gonna have you restate the question because it's with people coming in and out, and it's been a while since we've heard the question.
Yeah, actually.
What has it been like for you being in the band for as long as you have been, and how has that kind of, I don't know, played a part in shaping who you are, your life, something that's significant to you?
Before I didn't really like getting in front of a whole bunch of people, like big crowds, and so it's helped me to become less affected by stage fright. It's helped me become more confident in being able to be more open. I remember having to learn how to really give energy on the stage, and so I remember having lessons with Catherine, and we were dancing around and doing like big movements, and she was helping me get out of this like comfort zone of not doing big movements, because I never liked like dancing or anything. And so it's helped me to open up and just be more willing to get and to even speak to people there at different events, speak to people on the streets if I felt like I was to speak to them. So it's helped make me more of an extrovert than I started as.
Deborah, I know that you aren't really a big part of doing like the rock performance side when we're going out to like bars and pubs and all that sort of stuff, but
Which
I know
is a shame because I remember her from her toddler years and she would be a great screamer.
those are just her
Thank you for
toddler
that
years.
support, Catherine. Really appreciate it.
What I know that your heart is very largely for worship, and so that's something that you're pretty passionate about. Could you elaborate on kind of your involvement with the band and what that's meant for you?
Well, a large part of my involvement, especially, I definitely think I took a step back in college because I had a lot going on, and I didn't always have a vehicle to come home to, so I stayed at college a lot. Before it was, I took photos during concerts. I took videos when you guys were recording your albums. I was the merch girl.
I sold a lot of merch in those days.
And I think I just really liked being with everyone and being social, and I really love being a part of the worship because I just like being true to who I am. Or not that. I mean, Dad sitting right here makes me really nervous. I don't like to put on a show. I like to just be able to be true, and I feel like in worship you're able to just be like you're worshiping. That's you worship how you worship. And so that's why I really like being involved for worship.
Say it one more time.
She's such a godly woman.
But I feel like having the band my whole life, because I don't remember when you guys weren't in a band, it brought us really close because I feel like a lot of times when you have siblings and there's age gaps, each sibling has their own friends and you go do things with your friends. But being in a band, you're so close that you are your siblings are your friends, which Mom and Dad are giving themselves a pat on the back for that. Built-in best friends. And so having like going on tour and being together 24/7 for 2 weeks in a truck, like you're very close.
And it's no Suburban. There's no space.
You're forced to connect in a way that I feel like a lot of other siblings don't get to connect in. So I feel like it shaped me a lot because I don't know, we're besties. Besties are the resties.
I feel odd answering that question because being the interviewer, I feel like I can't interview myself.
Sean, how has being in the band shaped you?
Thank you.
These past
Deborah.
18 years.
Yeah,
19
I really
years.
19
Three.
years.
Has it
3 years
made
that we
you
were
an
trademarked.
extrovert?
How do you feel about worship?
What instrument do you play?
Oh,
The biggest instrument,
yes,
Sarah.
the heaviest instrument, the one with the most pieces. Thank you, Sarah.
Actually, I'm sure if we took apart Sarah's keyboard, that there would be more pieces.
Good point, Drew.
I knew it was
Did
Drew.
he-
That was Did he say that it has 88 keys?
Yes.
No, he said he's sure if we took it apart, it would be more pieces.
So
Can't argue with that. I definitely say that I think the band has been the biggest part of shaping me into who I am. It's I was already a pretty big social butterfly, so it allowed me to spread my wings and soar.
You're not gonna soar very
Yeah.
It's more of a flutter if you're.
Is that like the
I had T-Rex
butterfly?
wings, which I'm sure was great for Mom and Dad, as it led to me being the sibling that sent just under 12,000 texts in 1 month. Someone did the math and meant I was sending.
I think it was just over 12,000.
No, it was
every-
under,
It
Drew.
wasn't me.
It was every 0.6 of a second.
I had really fast fingers. I should have been the piano player.
SMS, man, those were the days.
That's true.
You could text without looking. I missed that.
But it's played a huge part into like what I've done today, like sales in the corporate world, and getting into marketing and being willing to step outside of my comfort zone because of everything that the band kind of forced you to do. When for us, it's always been, if you want fans, you got to go make them. Like, you got to go meet all those people, make them want to like you, and then maybe listen to your band enough to like us on Facebook, and then they're your fan.
That's why we had kids. Grow
Yeah,
the following.
there we go.
They're making
We
bands.
literally
My
started
kids don't
making
like
our
it
own
when I sing.
fans.
Please stop, Mom.
They're so polite. But it's really forced me to step up, not only in terms of being more outgoing, but I've also been kind of abrasive a lot of my life, and so it made me have to be more gentle and more respectful to people when I was going and meeting them, and so naturally from
Did that make you less of a social butterfly and more of a social like Tyrannosaurus Rex then?
no, nothing to do with
The abrasive?
that, Drew. That'd be ridiculous.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, you guys have been, except for my wife and my kids and Jesus, the biggest blessings in my life and making me who I am today. So I want to thank you guys very much for that. But I'm also curious as like the spouse view on marrying into the band. And so Tyler's kind of stretched to answer this one. So while we let him stretch, let's go from the youngest to the oldest. Brianna,
What was the question again?
what's it been like for you marrying into this band?
He's past 18, 19 years.
Yeah.
Well, when I was born, apparently I came into the band. It has been quite an adventure. I didn't know a ton about music, didn't know a lot about what it takes to be a band. And I grew up in a small family. Like, I had one sibling, so it was quite a change for that. To see all these people working together for one purpose and enjoying their time doing that. So I've really enjoyed it, but I've only, been a part of the band for
These last 18, 19
these
months.
last
18
most of my life.
18 months? How long have you guys?
I didn't marry very long.
2 years?
Almost 2 years.
Almost
No,
2 years.
how
Time
4,
flew.
5?
Happy almost anniversary to us.
We're registered at.
William Sonoma and
Shh, they aren't a sponsor yet.
Yeah, we're gonna have to cut that part.
Babe.
She has a name.
It's
Kayla.
Babe.
My name's Michaela. It's
Michaela Babe.
Yes. It's definitely different way of going about life being part of the band than what I was used to before. There's a lot of doing things because this is what we have to do and, kind of set priorities and spending time in a way that might not necessarily be how you would first choose to spend your time. Putting in the time for practice and traveling to the different places so there's concerts and things like that. And so being part of the band has been really cool to see how all of the siblings and spouses, like people have said before, come together for one purpose greater than ourselves, and how everyone sets aside other things that they would like to do in order to make the space to prioritize the band and give all of our time for that to advance the mission of the band. Working with the band has helped me in a lot of other areas of my life to adapt. Yes. Adaptability. Yes, learn how to adapt.
I love you.
I love you.
That was a really good answer.
Yeah.
It was.
Good luck to
All
all the
right,
other
Tyler,
guys.
let's hope that stretching did you some good.
Yeah, thanks. That was a very good answer, by the way. When you said, "Yeah, I'm losing my words," it's like, no, you're doing great. I also grew up in a family of just one other sibling. So for most of my life growing up was just like very, very small. And then when I met these guys, it was like there are so many people to like not only learn the names of, but then figure, okay, what instrument does everyone play? What's everyone's role? Oh, it's a ministry too. And like to see everybody like working as a team, like these guys were saying, was super cool.
But you were very fortunate that you already loved traveling with music and stuff, and already a lot of experience with helping other bands.
Right.
Yeah, they
I
met.
had-
Catherine and Tyler met at a concert.
Yeah.
During
Yeah,
a Club 3 Degrees music competition.
So I was working with them, and like I was involved with music for so long, and then when I met these guys, it was like second nature for me, and so it was weird for me because when I like met everyone, I'm like, okay, great, like I already know all this stuff, and then my mind had to be like, nope, you're actually gonna switch and learn like relationship stuff, and then put them, so that was kind of interesting because I didn't start off dating the lead singer and then work into the music. I like started off with the music and then had to, figure out dating and all that. But that's that can go.
That was a
later.
good story.
But, yeah, no, I had to try to condense that.
That was a good answer. Drew, Hannah isn't available, is she? Is she still singing about Dora pooping?
Yes, she is. I turned down my microphone a little bit, so you
Okay,
can't catch it anymore.
I guess we'll get Holly's and Sophia's opinion on what it's been like marrying into the band.
It was a totally new world that opened up to me when I met PJ. I had only been to a handful of concerts. I had no idea what all was involved in being a band and concerts and all that. I was a little country girl who just listened to country music and didn't know the names of any singers or songs. And then I met PJ and I learned a lot about music and still don't know the name of people who sing the songs and the titles of the songs, even you guys's, honestly. But
Oh, Holly doesn't know who sings our songs.
I'm getting better. But it's just what I learned from the whole experience of all the late night concerts and early morning church, getting to practice, and just everything that was involved in show weekends and just in general being a part of the band, is you just got to go with the flow and you just got to do what you have to do. And I feel like that kind of made me tougher, just to learn that way of thinking where it's just like, well, it's uncomfortable, but we can make it happen. And so just learning that there's sacrifices that are to be made, but they're all worth it, just to keep everybody working together like a well-oiled machine. So yeah, that has been my experience.
James, you're the oldest.
Hi.
Okay, is it more than hi?
Yes, very thankful for the Medin family band breakthrough happening, and that's how I met my wife. And in more than one way, we met on the worship team at church. But I also met a lot of the brothers and sisters and the parents first that made me want to connect, because I saw the heart for the Lord in all of you and the ministry throughout it all that just attracted me to it all. And since being married in, which has been 7 months now.
James forgot how long he's been married.
Actually, tomorrow, 7 months tomorrow, I believe. Lots of good things happen. I now have something to fill up my Saturday mornings. I was always looking for that. And
you guys will get to hear it in post.
I'm watching everybody on there laughing.
Our laughing will come at the beginning of the next episode.
That's right.
and yeah, I just love the bond and the connection and the cool things that I've been able to be a part of in this short amount of time. Interested to see where God takes us.
Amen to that.
Leave it at that.
One more person to ask before my final question to you all. Austin.
Yeah, I probably have a lot to go over with this specifically. I think that
Well, you have like maybe 6 minutes.
Okay, I'll try to make it really fast. Breakthrough was really the opportunity for me to kind of join this family that presented the greatest opportunity. I think it was you, Sean, that had me start carrying all your drums around for you.
Because I had the biggest instrument.
Because he had the biggest
Sarah was
number of
carrying
instruments.
The biggest instrument by herself.
She should have found
Somebody Austin.
But yeah, and through that, I mean, I kind of made a career out of what I do for the band is audio. That kind of created that opportunity for me to learn that I love to do that. It also created, or just kind of let me know of like, if you really want to do something for the Lord and you're called to something, like, just kind of throw 100% at it, and no matter like what kind of obstacles or situations that you're put into. Talking about like late nights, early mornings for church, playing out of state, driving back into state to do that type of stuff. Just throw 100% into it of what you're called to do. So yeah, I don't know if that kind of fills out like my experience of Breakthrough and kind of what it's meant to me.
Good answer.
Sean, you are forgetting one key member of the band.
Dad, would you like to say some words?
Go ahead.
Which one of the members was made in 1997 and has gone
we don't talk
everywhere
about
that
that.
you've gone? Your nice truck.
Oh, I was like,
I was like, but Dad, again, we aren't sponsored by them
You're
yet.
98.
We're all doing the
I was
math
like, how was
this.
it in 1997?
At first he was like 1990, and I was like, is it gonna be me? Is it gonna be me?
Actually,
We're gonna have plenty of funny stories for you guys later on down the line. But my last question to you all, and it is kind of a shorter one, but if you guys had the option to start over, would you do this all again with Breakthrough? BJ?
Yes.
Sarah?
If I still ended up with James, I'd do it a million times over again.
Catherine?
I was looking at Clean Slate Webster definition for Drew. I had to put more thought into this. Well, like I said, and I think it was this episode that
Because we have so many.
It really informs the way that our personalities all turned out and stuff. I don't think we'd be this close without it, and I don't think that we'd be adaptable or as adaptable or as good at communication without it. So I would do it again.
Daniel?
I would definitely do it again. I would just start playing violin sooner and more consistently so I could have joined sooner.
We all say amen to that. Debo?
Yes, but I would change just a few things. I would have actually.
That wasn't a question.
I'm the lead singer.
No, not a lead singer. I would have learned piano. I would have learned guitar. I would have followed through with my violin
It's a
lessons and
one-woman
actually
band.
practiced. I wouldn't change anything
To be
because
Deborah.
then I couldn't go to all my friends and say, I've been to so many concerts. I did this. Did I tell you about the time I did this? And I wouldn't be me. So yeah, I would do it all over again.
Okay.
For the benefits.
For the benefits.
Yes.
Yes.
I definitely would do it all over again. I can't imagine my life any different. All the in-laws that we have are absolutely amazing. I've treated my siblings wonderfully, and my wife is. I'm going to say it a lot in these podcasts. She is the biggest miracle of my life, and I love her to death. And I know that music and ministry was a big part of bringing her into my life. So.
well, we agree. You meeting her was a miracle.
Keep going, Sean. Keep going. She's going to cry.
Thank you, Drew. I appreciate that. Final word of thank you, B&L's, for your pizza.
Speaking of pizza.
And
Yeah,
all
speaking of
these
pizza.
years.
And all these years, for over 20 years. Thank you for reminding
Fine
me
dining.
of that, Kayla. Fine dining, yes, at B&L's.
Affordable for a family of a million.
If you want a place that'll support your family, B&L's, because we're all about that. And thank you, Sir Confections, for the phenomenal cookies. We love them. They're very tasty. And we look forward to having them again in the future. So thank you all very much for your investment in this family.
I need to just look at Michaela for whenever Sean's talking to look at her reactions.
Yeah, that's what I'll do with the camera. Just fix it.
Hey,
fix it
Sean,
here when I'm
Sean,
speaking. Yes,
I
Chris?
have an important question for you.
Yes.
If this is a hypothetical, okay?
Oh boy.
If you had a chance to do the sponsor spots for this podcast episode over again, would you?
Yes, I would, Drew.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
I would do.
All right. Thank you all again for taking the time to get together with me and talk about being a family and being willing to include others in our lives. I know that it can be odd to talk when there's a camera here, and admittedly, it still is a little awkward, even though
I could
all
do
of
this
us have
for
done.
days.
I'm just
Never
staring
mind.
at you
Deborah.
the entire time.
Deborah might lead the next episode.
Like and
That'd
subscribe.
be pretty great.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
Deborah may be hosting the next episode. We want to welcome all of you into our family because one of the most important parts of one's life is their family. And we want to help provide that to all of you by including you in what our lives are like as a family, both as one large one as well as many smaller individual families. If you want to be kept up to date on the newest episodes, like our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram at Welcome to the Medins, subscribe to our YouTube page and podcast pages. We look forward to seeing you all again in 2 weeks. And before we close out, Catherine, would you be willing to pray for us?
We just thank you for the ability to be at the front lines of worship as well, Lord. And I know that we'll have more opportunities to tell people about all the miracles you've done in our lives through worship in the future. I just thank you for letting us be a part of that battleground. And just thank you, God, for Sean being an extreme extrovert who likes to kick people in the pants, get things like podcasts started. And dear Lord, help us all. And just thank you, God, for this wonderful family. In Jesus' name, amen.
We'll see you all next time on our third episode.
Of Welcome to the Medins.